Our second discussion on the program. This morning, we have our guest joining us live via Zoom from Lagos, Nigeria. Is a lawyer and president of Yoruba Council Worldwide, Oladotun Hassan. Thank you for coming on the program.
Yes, good morning. It's a pleasure to
All right,
join
great.
you.
So we're just going to begin first by looking at some of the immediate and remote motivation for this invasion that we saw in Oyo State.
Yes, it's quite regrettable and unfortunate that a group of disgruntled elements will go to the extent of invading the Oyo State government house, uh, parading guns, arms and ammunition, consequently amounting to treasonable felony, which is an offense against the state when you raise harm against the state. The actions of Onitiri Abiola and his likes and his heights are consequent punishable acts of sedition because these are statements capable of inciting hatred. And the entire whole embarrassing situation that was committed is a pure act of terrorism. And the entire Yoruba denounce and regrettably want to let the whole world know that we are never part of this whole shenanigans. Uh, no Yoruba reasonable person supports this monumental, embarrassing ploy, and we stand by the democracy that we are in, and we believe that we are going to attain a greater height in our quest for attaining delivery of dividend of democracy under a very thoroughbred democratic process, but not in support of this whole embarrassing terrorist act.
Interesting. People are now saying it's some sort of a pointer to return to what we have seen regarding Sunday Igboho a few years ago in Nigeria. How much of truth or otherwise we have in that?
Well, we can never. There is no fire without smoke. Well, there is no smoke without fire. And the figment of what transpired, uh, it had to have been a figment of Baba, Professor Banji Akintoye, Sunday Igboho, and the heights and the way they've been going about this is really, really illegal and is condemnable. And this act needs total, total clamp down because it's capable of erupting a civil war if not properly checkmated. Because and we don't have this as part of our traits. We are renowned Omoluabi Yoruba land. We believe in hard work. We believe in conversation. We believe in listening to each other. We don't grandstand. We don't commit rascality. So, however the whole situation might have been calm, and whoever that is sponsoring this, we've seen the hands of Onitiri Abiola parading that declaration that is self illusion that like say Yoruba country as from the day. This is not the first time she has set that kind of evil plot, and it's a disgrace for the family of Abiola to allow her to continue to use the late MK Abiola's toga to perpetrate this evil. So let her just bear her father's name and continue this same solar. But it's quite regrettable in all spheres that such is being embraced by is being perpetrated by a lecturer. I saw an intellectual telling the whole world that there is a signed EU report, there is a signed ECOWAS. Where? Who told them all these people? You can't just out of your figment of imagination, out of some doctor documents, you just want to fancy your reasoning. It's quite regrettable, quite unfortunate, and highly condemnable. And that is why we are raising our voices against such. As the President Yoruba Council Worldwide, we condemn such. We want all Yorubas to go their normal way, all Nigerians to relate in all fairness as citizens and in oneness, while we all jointly build our common patrimony, Nigeria, to a greater height.
Let's talk about an important aspect of this development. The choice of not just Oyo State, not just Ibadan, but the state's government secretariat. What do you think would have led to that? Was it a strategy?
Well, this is not the first time we are having a scenario from Onitiri invading Oyo government asset of state um, government premises. It is more or less attention seeking. It has nothing to hold. They can't seize power because they went there on Saturday. They just went for a show. It's more, anyone watching that will first of all think it's a Nollywood script because the entire thing was like, this is madness. You drove in into the government house on a Saturday, begin to run around the Scatter, displaying this. It's just a show off to impress their paymasters, and they have nothing whatsoever under the sun to stage or have capacity to upset a government. But the fact that they committed that act is criminal, and that's why we are coming out to tell the whole world that this act is we condemn it. We we stand with the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and we believe that we can build a better nation in Nigeria.
And lastly, I'm just going to ask you this. On account of this invasion in Oyo State, we now hear that states in the southwest, Ogun, Oshun, Ekiti, and even Ondo, as a matter of fact, Kwara State joined them to sort of beef up security, Amotekun, in some of those states in the southwest, and now saying, look, there's no place for you here. Don't even think for a second that you can invade. So if all of these states are fortifying themselves, so to speak, isn't that a reason to be concerned about what this group is capable of doing in the days, weeks, and months ahead?
Well, I want to say unequivocally that fortification of security in states are the daily duties of the government. Uh, there is a need for them to be daily at their duty post to ensure lives and security of citizens within their state and state assets are protected. But in view of the act that was committed, yes, with this arrest, it will serve as a deterrent to any would-be thinkers in their beer parlor thinker thinking they can go any step further to causing another man in another place. Thankfully, that those ones that committed this act, yes, they must have sustained a very grave injury, but considering the it's like a suicidal mission for anyone who is being indoctrinated. And this is parent warning to whoever that is indoctrinated in this ideology of Yoruba nation now to desist and embrace reasoning because there is nothing anywhere anyone can offer because there is no table for such because you cannot stand on the street and commit a riotous destruction of public peace and you think that maybe you are just doing that jamboree will bring the Yoruba nation of at their thinking and that is wrong. That is misplaced priority. That is unreasonable. And it's madness that people would think stupidly to embrace such. And that's why we are condemning such. We believe that the government and the intelligence agency will do more to clamp down on anything that would disrupt our democracy. We believe that the government at hand, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is there. And we want all Nigerians. It's not about the fact that let it not become an ethnic display of jingoist ideology by anyone whatsoever. Let everybody calm down and let's reason together with it.
Sounds great. But then, will it not be hypocritical of people who are not lending their voices to this conversation, including yourself, for example, if the issues that had been raised by Sunday Igboho and his team have not been addressed because they say these issues serve the overall interest of the Yoruba nation? Is it ideal? All right. Is it the right step in the right direction to say we don't want to see agitation in the Southwest? And those same issues that had been raised that serve the interest of the Yoruba people have not been addressed.
Well, it is not a exclusive thing that we are talking about, and it's not hypocritical of our organization or the way we have come out to raise our displeasure, because as a lawyer and as a Democrat, this is a process that is ongoing. I've been at your studio several times to advocate for social justice rights for the people, ensuring due diligent delivery of dividend of democracy, ensuring that we have a new social justice right to new people's constitution that will embrace all fair and proper dealings of the people. So this has no in any way stop us from those fundamentals, and that's fundamental in every democratic society. And in most um, ridiculous manner that these old things have gone by. I'm sure the lady behind the camera, uh, um, Onitiri Abiola, who have been parading this madness, needs to be cautious because this is an this this is an intentional act, and that is where I want to ensure that that matter should be treated on. There is a need for a more proactive measure to the to for government to really utilize in handling this matter, so we can achieve Nigeria of our collective dream by continuous conversation, and this has not stopped in any method or in any way. But the fact that this whole indoctrination, it's not just restricted to the Yoruba land. We've seen it in the Southeast. A lot of lives have been lost. This same indoctrination was what led to the first civil war and coup that led a whole number over 5 million souls were lost just on the premise of one mass stupidity, thinking that, oh, let us throw gun, let us kill, let us do this, we can achieve it. This whole idea, you can't achieve anything through war. It's going to just mess the purviews of those criminal acts to mess them up more. And that's why you can see Sunday Igboho denying, Chief Banji Akintoye denying. You can't deny what you lit as a fire. The best, to me, it is more or less like you know something you are part of, and you are digressing from it into thinking that people are not seeing it. And we've won severally. There are many times I've won, even prior before election, I've won severally that this Yoruba nation now thing must stop. There is a limit to every madness. You don't explode more than your grace. So now that they've seen it all that there is an intolerance for total zero tolerance for this old shenanigans, I'm sure to serve as a caution to any would be agitators.
On the final note, I'm just going to ask you this. I mean, look at the Southeast that you just made an allusion to. At least they have the Ohaneze Igbo, right? That's the apex Igbo cultural, socio-cultural group, leadership group for the Southeast. You go to the north, you hear of the Northern Elders Forum, you hear of the Arewa Consultative Forum, the ACF, all right? And then when you come to the southwest, you hear of the Afenifere, which is also the equivalent of one of these groups that I've mentioned, I mean, regionally speaking. and all of that. What kind of conversation is the Afenifere, I mean, being a very pivotal pillar in the Southwest, having with all of these Yoruba nation agitators by way of telling them to, as we say, take a chill pill?
It is one of our issue in Nigeria that we hardly we hardly forestall any evil happening. We try to wait until that thing gets too out of hand. At several times, yes, there have been national and regional conversation at various points in time. There was a Yoruba Declaration Summit that was held in 2021 or I think 2021 or thereabouts in Ibadan, which says all fundamentals, correctness of how best to manage our democracy. That is contribution to serve as a caution, whereby Yoruba Council Worldwide, Afenifere, Yoruba Unity Forum, governors, senators, and political leaders, and elder statesmen, religious leaders, we all gathered to reason together. Then Mr. Yinka Odumake was elected, and these were conversations that are robust to serve as a note of caution. In Igbo land, we might have been seeing clamor from Igbo that, oh, let them release Nnamdi Kanu and all that. But it is not the clamor that really matters to people like us. It is how best are they cautioning Samuel Epap, who is also committing similar acts Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed. And we know what went on and how much disaster that caused the entire Southeast. Even till now, every Monday is more declared as a no work day that you have to stay indoor and lives were lost. The husband of Dora Aquili was killed, teams were killed, police stations and headquarters were destroyed, military men were ambushed, and this um, whole illegality has been there. So that is why we need to raise our opinion more further. And I'll be calling that the government of the day should begin to have conversation with ethnic nationalities leaders. There is a need to engage a fourth tier of government and establish the traditional Federal Ministry of Traditional Affairs to ensure that kings and local leaders are carried along in managing issues of this nature that at the local level, because crisis eruption can be treated at the instance of that smaller chunk before it gets so cancerous. So the need for more conversation, the need for further confab, that is more reform conferences on national discourse. The government should not just stand alone and think they can do it alone. The need for government to embrace conversation at all spheres so that ethnic nationality leaders can begin to speak the language to their people. We go back to our race, just as what we are saying now. It's like we are cautioning our people that don't push more than what you can chew. Don't do what is illegal. Try and be reasonable. The fact that you are clamoring for against the other issues that have happened in the past, that should not raise your anger to the extent of committing this illegality that will lead you to prison, that might even lead you to sentencing, to life imprisonment, or even death, because they are limited sentencing to the effect that committing this capital offense of terrorism is by death. So why would somebody risk you? And I'm informing all Nigerians there that don't be hypnotized by these fables from any disgruntled element. And I've said it. If anyone is clamoring for Yoruba nation, let them put first their own family. Let them put them first as their shield, not innocent helpless and unemployed youth that are just outside there, taking advantage of the army of unemployed youth and engaging them in this act of criminality, putting them on the hope that yes, if they could be a part of this, their life will be better. And you are not offering them any solution. The only thing you just do as a Onitiri or any other person is to get uniform and begin to put on an elderly person of over 70. That's a grave injustice to that man. Why would you use such a man as a cannon folder? Somebody who doesn't even understand what you are trying to drive at. All you are just telling him, oh, go to this Eldorado. And this whole deceit must stop. It must stop because it's affecting our future. People will begin to reason with us that are we really developing as a state? Are we really matured to manage ourselves? So we don't have to see ourselves as to be recolonized by white men. We have come of age and we can do it better. We can really get it right. The best that we can do for our country is all of us to collectively embrace peace and development and and justice. So for me and other Yoruba leaders, I'm sure in the coming days we will raise a summit that will definitely address this issue in the shortest possible time.
Our fingers are crossed, and we look forward to seeing that happen in no distant time. Oladosun Hassan, lawyer and president, Yoruba Council Worldwide, we appreciate the time you have invested with us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. That's what we're leaving it with the entire program, Global Morning. Today, we appreciate you watching. On behalf of the entire production team here in Abuja, we say we're grateful. Coming up shortly will be Talk Sports with Anthony Momodu.